Hello everyone and welcome to second lecture on mutation. In last lecture, we saw about the definition of mutation, how simple the definition of mutation is, uh, even though the process of mutation or the whole process, the complete thing is quite complex, but the definition is quite very simple to understand. We saw that how to define the process of mutation or mutation. It's very simple and it says that sudden and heritable change in the sequence of DNA or in genotype or in genome of any organism. So we can have different variations of the definitions of mutation. Today we will discuss, or today we will move further into the topic. And before we move further, it is important to understand many basic things. And the first thing that today we will discuss about the structure of DNA. If we talk about the definition, one more point that you have to understand, it says that it is heritable. What is the meaning of heritable? That means if mutation occurs somewhere in the DNA, it is able to pass on from parent to offspring. And obviously, you know that when something is passing from parents to offspring, that means it has to be through reproduction. That means if mutation is occurring in germline or in germ cells or in gametes, then only it can pass on to next generation. And this we will discuss further when we'll discuss about the concepts or the various kinds of mutation. So this is the meaning of being heritable. So now we are done with the definition of mutation, and the last thing that we saw, that is about the change in the genotype and what different changes we can have in the genotype of an organism according to the definition. The first thing, the first change that we can have change in the genotype is change in number of chromosomes. That means what kind of change we can have in the genotype. The first kind we can have, that is change in the number of chromosomes. That means if we have change in the number of chromosomes, generally we have a defined number of chromosome in every species of any organism. So that is the first kind of change we can have. Then we can have change in structure of chromosomes. That means any change in the morphology or structure of the chromosome that we study about the chromosomal aberrations that we'll discuss in different topic. And the third kind of change what we can have in genotype, that is in individual genes. That means at gene level we can have the change. So this is how we can have different types or different changes in the genotype of an organism. So if we want to understand the concept that what kind of change, suppose if I say now, suppose if I say there is a change in the sequence of DNA, according to the definition, it is very important to understand about the structure of DNA. And that's why today we will put some light on the structure of DNA or nucleic acids. Now, the first thing, that what are nucleic acids? If we define nucleic acids, generally we have two kinds of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Now what are nucleic acids? Again, the definition is very simple and how to define a nucleic acid. Generally, what are nucleic acids? These are macromolecules. Molecules means these are large molecules. Now, if it is a molecular structure, that means it is made up of something quite very small. And what are these small subunits or smaller parts that make up this large molecule? So generally, these subunits, we call them as nucleotides. That means in one statement, if you want to define that what is a nucleic acid or what is a DNA or what is a RNA, you can simply define that it is a macromolecule that is made up of repeating units or subunits, and those subunits we call them as nucleotides. Now this is the repeating unit. For example, if I make a large molecule and if I say this is a DNA strand or an RNA molecule, it is made up of individual repeating subunits, and these subunits we call them as nucleotide. That means this is nucleotide number 1, number 2, number 3, and I can have number of nucleotides, and that's why at the end I call this strand or this chain as polynucleotide. Since I have many number of nucleotides, and this why the complete structure I call it as polynucleotide. Now we will discuss about the components that in turn what individual nucleotide, that means if I take just one nucleotide, what is the composition of this one nucleotide. So just now we will discuss about that what are various components of a nucleotide. That is the monomer or that is the repeating unit in case of DNA or RNA. So just now we will discuss about the components of nucleotide. That means what are different components or parts of a nucleotide. We have 3 components that make up a nucleotide, and if we see, the first component is a phosphate group. How do we make the phosphate group? Now this is your phosphate group, that is one of the components of a nucleotide. Then we can have second one, that is sugar, that is 5-carbon sugar, and that's why we call it as pentose. Penta means 5. Now this is the sugar, the second component, and the third one we have base. Many a times we see in literatures that it is mentioned as nitrogenous base. What is the meaning of nitrogenous base? Generally we call it as base. That means I have 3 components. The first one, that is your phosphate, then we have the sugar, and then we have the base. Why we call it as a nitrogenous base? Because it is a compound, or it is a cyclic compound. That means it is in form of a ring. It has a ring structure and it contains nitrogen along with carbon atoms. That means if you form a ring structure along with the carbon atoms, at some places I will have nitrogen. Since this cyclic or ring compound, it contains nitrogen as the component, I call it as nitrogenous base. Now these are the three components of a nucleotide. So we have seen about the phosphate, about the sugar. Now if we talk about the sugar, the next component now, as we all know that we have two types or two kinds of nucleic acid. One is DNA, other one is RNA. Now, what are the difference? That difference, we have number of differences, but one major difference, that is in the sugar. And according to that, we have the name DNA and the RNA. Now, if we see about the structure of sugar, what kind of structure we have about the sugar or the pentose. Sugar Now, if you see why we call it as pentose sugar, as already we have just discussed that it is a 5 carbon. So, I have the carbon number 1, I have the carbon number 2, I have carbon number 3, I have carbon number 4 and I have carbon number 5. Since it has 5 carbons, I call it as pentose sugar. Is it very clear? Now if I say that this is the structure of a sugar and this is generally what you see in RNA. Why I call it as RNA? Because what is the full form of RNA? That is ribonucleic acid. That means I have a ribose sugar and obviously that is the part of the nucleic acid. So that is RNA. Now if we talk about the structure of this sugar in case of DNA. Now if you know what is the full form of DNA, and the first thing that comes over here is deoxyribonucleic acid. One thing important to note over here, that is deoxy. Now if you see about the structure of sugar, everything is very similar in case of DNA, but suppose if it is the structure of sugar in case of DNA, what change you have to make? Just you have to remove it. DNA means deoxy. That means you have to remove oxygen. Now from where you are removing? You are removing from here. And that's why it is 2-deoxy, because you are removing oxygen or there is no oxygen at the carbon number 2. Now this kind of sugar you will have in case of DNA. Now this is the difference between DNA and RNA. So this is about the structure of the sugar. I hope I have made myself very clear. I am not extending the video because if a lot of things are done at the very same time, it will become saturated and it would be difficult for you to understand at the very same time. So we will stop here. So today what we have seen about the concept of nucleotides, the components of the nucleotide, that we have the phosphate, we have the sugar, what kind of sugar we have, what differences we have in RNA and DNA according to the sugar, and the last component that is about the base. The base part is very important because since we are dealing all these things under the head that is mutation, and to understand mutations, for example like transition or transversion, it is very important to understand about the basis, about the structure, not in deep but at least superficial structures. So for next lecture I will be discussing about, we will start from the structure of bases or nitrogenous bases. I hope the things are very clear. Please see the video, and if you like it, do comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video.